Welcome, everybody, to another day of IPSL, International Platinum Star League. I'm joined once again by my good old co-host, Ozzy the Hockey, who we haven't spoken to in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's been
so
like
long.
yeah, it's been almost like what 19 hours, 18 hours, something like that.
Something like that, right? But we're back, and we're going to be casting yet another ZVZ, which we also haven't casted in a long time, right?
Yeah, how crazy is that we had two ZVZs 2 days in a row, in
Yeah.
two different tournaments, right?
Yeah,
and we're casting Sziky again.
Yeah, I know, right? Like Sziky is just playing ZVZs and we're just casting him. That is our entire weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, we have a treat for you guys. This best of 5 is going to be between Sziky and JDConan. Which once again, I think Sziky is favored, but we'll see. I mean, JDConan plays I heard he plays a very like off meta ZVZ style.
Yeah, he can make things a little bit odd. And it's interesting because, yesterday we saw Sziky. Sziky, pretty dominant. All right. He kind of showed us that he is kind of low-key a bit of a ZVZ god, despite how much he complains about the matchup. But the thing is JDConan, he does play a little bit off meta, a little bit offbeat. He does some strange stuff. And JDConan also really believes in himself, which can make a big difference. He's one of the few guys going up against Sziky that genuinely believes that he can take out Sziky, and that actually can make a big difference in how you perform.
Dude, I admire that confidence, and you absolutely cannot discount the confidence factor in playing StarCraft, because I don't know, I feel like if you know that you can beat your opponent, you just play so much better. You're just as long as I play well, I can just win. It doesn't matter, how well my opponent plays. It doesn't matter what matchup, whatever. Dude, you have the confidence. You're more decisive. You're cleaner with your play. You don't overthink anything. It's a big factor.
It is a huge factor. Some people like being the underdog because they like to say it takes all the pressure off of them, but there are definitely a lot of people as well on the flip side that just play better when they have people that actually believe that they're gonna win when they're not the underdog, right? Some people do well when they're expected to perform well, or there's that pressure on them to perform well. And JDConan definitely seems like the kind of guy that, he just wants people to be to believe that he is going to win this. So yeah, we'll we'll see how he does. He's got his work cut out for him. So
that's for sure. Do you think he's gonna pull out the Hydra ZVZ?
I wouldn't expect that. I'd love to see it, but I can't remember the last time I saw it work at a high level. But
I remember it being attempted at a high level, but
yeah.
I agree with you. I haven't seen it work in a while.
Yeah, we need one of those tournaments where we have the special ZVZ rules, right? Where you can't make mutas or something, and see what actually happens, see what kind of games we get with something like that long term. Because it's just there's not a lot of unit variation that you're allowed to go with in ZVZ, unfortunately.
If you've ever talked to Light Swarm, he will tell you that Hydra ZVZ is a perfectly viable meta, and the only reason people don't play it is because none of the pros play it. He assures me if one pro plays Hydra ZVZ and shows that it can work, then everyone will start playing it.
Yeah. I'm not convinced. Maybe Light Swarm knows something that I don't know. I actually played him in CPL during preseason 1 ZVZ, and he tried going Hydras against me, and I'm not even a Zerg player. It didn't work out for him, but I get wanting it to. I get wanting it to work. I'm 100% on board with finding a way to make it work, but I just don't see the light right now, unfortunately.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it does seem like one of those strategies where it gives your opponent kind of too much power. Maybe not power is the right word. Too much freedom to kind of do whatever they want.
It's a lot of control and tempo. Yeah.
Yeah. And ZVZ really is a tempo based matchup. Once you get an advantage, it's really easy to snowball it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing about something like a Hydra build. It just guarantees that the muta player gets control. And unfortunately, the other thing is Hydras don't really beat mutas for a very long time. You have to have a lot of Hydras before they can actually start even fighting the mutas. And it just gives you a long time. I have seen a couple of those like Hive games when it does get there. Urban is pretty infamous for that, where every ZVZ he plays just has to go to Hive. Like he's the kind of guy that when he gets behind, he's like, all right, I'm gonna drop 10 spores and go Hive, and we'll see what happens. I'd like to see Conan do something like that, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean there's multiple ways to get to the desired end game as the viewers and casters. Maybe not the desired end game for the players, but for us, we always want to see it go to Hive. That's always such a treat to watch.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes the players get themselves into a position where neither of them can really kill each other, and I feel like that usually happens when one person gets 2 bases and a ton of spores, and the other person tries to go muta, but it didn't like they can't really break them, so they also take another
Yeah.
base.
You know what's crazy? You got me thinking about it right now.
Mhm.
We almost never see a mirrored ZVZ build. I can't remember the last time I casted a mirrored build. There's always variation between the two builds. Because I was like, how is it that we don't get into later, like more even game states where we get into later games? And it's just, there's just always a difference in build. It's like 9 pull versus 12 pull, or 12 hatch versus, 11 pull, 12 pull, or overgas, or like whatever, right? I've like never seen like 12 hatch versus 12 hatch, right? Like when's
Yeah,
the last time you saw that?
huh. Yeah, you're kind of right. Like I don't actually remember the last time I saw a mirrored build. Like the
Yeah.
other, like I see a lot of like, oh, one build gets a slight advantage, like someone does overpool and the other person does overpool, but with gas, right? Or one
Yeah.
person goes 12 hatch and the other person goes 12 pool. Or
Yeah.
like they both go like 12 hatch, but one hatch is like in their base. There's
Right.
just so many like build orders in ZVZ that are all viable. Like almost equally viable, right? It's not like one build is like really good. Like I would say if you look at TVT, 3 Fag Vulture is the popular one. But yeah, anyways, it looks like the players are in fact ready to go. So let's get into game number 1.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. I'll start us off this time, spawning on the top right-hand side of Litmus. We have our player from Bolivia. It is JDConan.
What is Sziky? Is he Hungarian?
He is Hungarian.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify before I started.
It's very important you get that particular country right.
Yeah. All right, so spawning here in the bottom right corner, we have our yellow Zerg from Hungary. We have Sziky.
Right. Now I'm suddenly like hoping they're gonna do like mirrored builds. Like,
so unironically, that was part of my strategy. I set it to maybe speak it into existence. Okay. Just because it like never happens. Yeah, unfortunately for Litmus has even more variation. So if we actually got the same build, that'd be pretty insane. Because there is like a lot of like 12 hatch, 12 pull, double gas, like hatch and main type things because of this, right? So I think there's even more room for variation here. But curious to see if are we going? Wait, are we opening 9-9 for Sziky? I think we're going 9-9. Okay, sorry. Jeez, I was about to lose my mind. Okay. Don't mind me right now. I didn't get the best amount of sleep last night. We're gonna lock in. We're gonna pay attention. Everything's good. We are getting no early pull from either player.
Oh my
so it looks like we're gonna get a 12 hatch from JDConan. Oh, double 12 hatch. Okay, let's go.
Okay, wow, mirrored build.
Let's go.
That's crazy. You know what? I can see 12 hatch being a very popular choice on Litmus because of the double gas.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. I'd be curious to see how it would match up against 9 pull, since it's an in-base 12 hatch. Because, normally it's like kind of an auto lose, right? When you go 12 hatch expand against 9 pull speed. But I'm curious how much like better, like how much more playable it is, right? If it's in-base 12. This is not something I've seen.
Yeah, I kind of wonder that as well. It's definitely easier to defend if you have like, well, it's easier to defend your one singular base just by having a sunken tucked in like a corner or something and you just drill around it. But if we have a hatchery like on like to the top left, Where do you put the sunken? Or is the theory just you hold the ramp and that's like an easier ramp to hold than like the natural?
Yeah, well, you know, when you go 12 hatch, the thing is you have to defend your hatchery because losing the hatchery is losing, right? But if you do it in base like this, it's just much more defensible with lings and like pulling drones and stuff. So you don't even necessarily need a sunken because you have the extra larva. So like maybe with like the lings popping out, right, you know, both hatcheries together, right? Because you'd be starting all the lings at the same time with some drone pool. Like maybe you actually can just save it this way. Yeah, I'd be curious to see it someday, but
yeah,
not today.
So both overlords are now flying in, and we are gonna in fact see that we're mirroring each other's builds. What do you normally do when you mirror your opponent's build in this matchup?
So I'd imagine, and this is just theory crafting because, you know, I'm not a Zerg player, right? But I'd imagine the goal would be like, for instance, what JDConan's doing, where he's postured a bit more defensively. He cut some lings as well, though. Maybe too many. I hope we have some more lings coming because he should know these lings are on the way. Yeah, so a couple more lings going to pop out, but Zeke is going to get a good trade before these lings get here, so he's going to get a slight ling advantage. Although that actually was a really nice micro. And then I would just go back home. Okay. So we take our win, right? We killed 6 lings, we lost 4, so great trade for Sziky. But I was gonna say, I feel like kind of the thing is like when you're doing a mirrored build like this, you don't have to posture aggressively, right? You don't have to attack your opponent per se, and this allows you to just sneak more drones out. But what's gonna end up happening is because Sziky got a good trade here, he's gonna be leaning on JDConan to make him a bit uncomfortable. So JDConan is actually going to maybe be in trouble here, actually, because there's a lot more lings here that just break up this ramp again. There should be all lings in the way, but we're going to be down a couple drones, potentially. Actually, good pulls from JDConan, not going to lose any drones. But Sziky's just trading really well against the lings, and he's got more reinforcements joining up here. And this is really great pressure from Sziky so far.
Yeah, forcing a sunken here, and now we're going to start an engage. The drones drill in here and just barely save this engagement. Very well done by JDConan, actually. He somehow made that work. It looked really bad for a second, but he really managed to save that fight.
Yeah, that drill was sick, because that was pretty much game ending, actually, if Sziky doesn't get drilled on there. But JDConan had a great drill and ends up winning that fight, and it does push Sziky back out of his base now. Spires are about to finish up. I think JDConan might have a drone or two advantage as well. He did a great job cycling drones and not losing any drones, and he's gotten more on the gas mining than Sziky did. Okay, he's actually going to pull off. The only thing is that we made that sunken, right? And once again, looks like Sziky is going to break up the ramp.
Oh, no, we did. I thought that was a...
Sziky going to focus down this extractor, so he'll just kill this extractor and probably back off. And he's just going to take his gas lead. Oh, he's going to commit. Okay, we're going to just commit into this. I guess no more lings were popping still, but we're going to get drilled on again here with the drones. Not the best drill this time, not interrupting a lot of the lings. We just do pop out, and he's going to defend these lings. Actually loses a drone on the backside of this well. JDConan holds on, but he's not in the best shape right now, right? Because Sziky has that extra extractor. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, both those meters are pretty much useless now.
Yeah, that was a good little split done by Sziky there. This is very interesting. So Sziky, it's really seemed like he committed a lot of lings to those attacks, and for a while it seemed like they weren't really doing a whole lot. This particular attack, though, he killed a sunken, he killed an extractor, and he killed one of the drones. But I actually wasn't expecting him to come out of it ahead because of just the sheer amount of lings he committed to this attack. It really must be the second extractor that's constantly been mining that's really been making the difference for him. He's been under no pressure at all this entire game, so he's just been able to freely mine.
Oh, man. That's crazy. We just hit both of the weakened mutas as well, so that's 2 mutas down. JDConan might just be dead in the water. The other thing, too, is because he lost the extractor, yeah, he only lost 1 drone, but he actually has to rebuild the extractor, so technically that's actually a second drone that goes down as well as stopping the gas mining. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it seems like Sziky's just pretty far ahead overall, and I think JDConan might just be dead here, right, Seth?
Yeah, that's a ton of mutas. And when the muta count is slightly higher than your opponent's, there really isn't a whole lot you can do. I imagine Scourge is going to be popping out soon for JDConan, but not before Sziky's own Scourge show up. And I think that's it. Yeah, JDConan taps out.
Yeah. Well, Sziky just kind of shown us that he's in a different class because, you know, thinking about it, we saw it with Striker yesterday as well when Striker even had the build order advantage, and Sziky still kind of just outplayed him really hard and came back and won that game. Well,
Yeah,
Sziky's shown us. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that was almost like weird to watch. Like I was watching that and I was like, JDConan is doing well. Like he's winning these engagements. Like he built like half as many lanes as Sziky, right? And his drone drills have been on point. And then he just kind of lost.
Yeah. Yeah, Sziky just kind of showing us that he's just in a different class, right? You get a mirror build, and JDConan's super good. Like, don't misunderstand. JDConan's like 2,400 plus MMR. I'm pretty sure himself as well. Like, he is a strong player, and with mirrored builds, Sziky just bullied him. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy to see, and I really feel like JDConan almost had the right idea going in as well, right? Like I imagine when you're doing mirrored builds, right? You can be like slightly ahead by greeting out like a little bit more than your opponent, right? Because if you just have 2 more drones than your opponent and your opponent attacks you, right? And you can defend with like slightly less amount of units present, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't end up working out for him.
Yeah. Looks like we can take a short little break here. We're gonna take a few breaks between games here as we get, keep things going, get some stuff set up and everything like that. So what do we want to do? Like 4 or 5 minutes? I don't actually know the break time. 5. Okay. So we're gonna take a quick little 5-minute break here. So, refill your water. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Get some snacks, that kind of thing. Settle in, and we'll bring you guys some more ZVZ soon.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed your break, which just happened to be 5/7 as long as the match that we just played. We're ready to go into game number 2. And I feel like JDConan hopefully isn't too distraught by what happened last game because we were talking about it a little bit afterwards that it really must suck if you like go back into the replay and you realize you both mirrored builds and you just kind of lost that game. You're
Yeah.
like, oh darn, like it
Yeah.
wasn't because of anything like random or anything like that. It was just
Yeah.
simply played worse, I guess.
Yeah, it can maybe be a little bit, demotivating. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't let it get to him. We did see I don't know if you noticed there was a lot of movement with the GG, like going back in his chair, and JD Conan very disappointed with that first game there. So I mean, he's probably very frustrated with his micro as well, right? Because we kind of saw there was some hiccups in the Mino micro, eating a lot of scourge hits that he really shouldn't have been taking that early. But yeah, hopefully he can clean it up a little bit. But it looks like our players are going to be ready. We're going to hop into the next game. Going to be game 2 versus Sziky versus JDConan.
All right, we are on Radeon, and in the bottom left corner, our Zerg player from Bolivia, it is JDConan.
And his opponent currently up 1-0, our red Zerg player, Sziky. A beast. He's making me a believer, man. I'm excited for his matchups against, Bonnet and DeWalt coming up.
Oh yeah, that would be
these tournaments.
a treat to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he can pull it off. Like, I've always been a fan of DeWalt, and I'm obviously a Bonnet fan. Like, he hangs out with us a fair amount in the Discord as well, plays games with us, and he likes to play UMS with us all, actually.
Oh,
So,
that's
like,
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I consider Bonnet a bit of a friend at this point. So that being said, even though I am kind of buddy-buddy with him, I still want to see Sziky dominate him just because I've just become like a big Sziky fan recently.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see like an underdog or a new up-and-coming player win, right? Bonnet has been pretty dominant in the foreign scene for quite a while now, so it's really nice to see some of the challengers rise up and try to like take his spot. We're seeing a little bit of lag here, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a JDConan special. Just gonna throw that out there. Look, JDConan, he's another one of those guys. He's a nice guy, okay? And you always gotta preface that someone's a nice guy before you talk a little bit of trash. Okay? JDConan, he does lag quite often, and the part that drives me nuts with JDConan is he's very good at playing when he's lagging. I can't stand it.
He's it's like that Batman quote where he's just like, I was like, what was it? Like, you were not born into lag, I was, or something. Like, what did Bane say?
Yeah, something about how I don't remember the exact quote, but I do know
I
what
was
you're talking
molded
about.
by it.
Yeah, like I was born in it, molded by it, something like that. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, adopted versus
You
molded,
merely
born.
adopted the lag. Yeah, the quote was, "You merely adopted the lag. I was born into it, molded by it." That's JDConan right here. But luckily for us, the lag has in fact stopped. So
Yeah.
all the Julians in the chat can stop using that as an excuse for now. But okay, it seems like the mirrored builds have stopped. And I will start manifesting my own. Let's get a Hive ZVZ at least once this series, please. Can we get a Hive ZVZ? Let's go up to Hive.
What was this? Was this 12 hatch versus 12 pool? That's what it looks like it was.
It looks like that to me, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be slightly JDConan favored. This isn't like a big difference since Sziky does. Like, this is really bad if you do 12 pool and then hatch in base, right? Against 12 hatch, you're just kind of doomed. But like I said, it's going to be slightly favored for JDConan, but it's not like a big advantage, right? But hopefully this does help him overcome a little bit of that, kind of skill gap, if we want to call it that, from that first game. And also, hopefully, like I said, JDConan kind of cleans his gameplay up a little bit, because I do think he was making some mistakes that he would not normally make.
Yeah, it's always rough in mirror matchups when you're playing against an opponent who is just kind of better at the game than you, a little bit more clean, like knows the matchup a little bit better. And the only real thing you can hope for in that case, apart from just like, oh, what if I simply played better? What if I was just cleaner? Right? Like that. That's always a good goal to strive for. But in a tournament setting, right, you have to be a little bit more realistic with how much you can improve between games.
Yeah.
So the way to go is just to make the game a bit more asymmetric. Go for a bit of a weirder build, something that might catch your opponent off guard, something that requires sort of different skills to be used from each player, and that unpredictability will sometimes work in your favor.
Yeah, it can. If you're not confident, then creating some chaos can definitely open up some windows and opportunity for you. That's why you see a lot of players like, Bonnet and DeWalt and stuff. They have these builds where it kind of just guarantees they get into a normal game state because they're confident that they're the better player. But yeah, we see a little bit of pressure here from Sziky, but it's not really going to do anything this plus 12 action. We're starting to see a pretty big gap in supply. Oh, Sziky actually losing one of these lings as well, and he's already down in lings. Even some lings getting into the main. I didn't even see this happen.
Yeah, I was not aware of that either, but these two lings are being super annoying here. Like, we're forcing drones to be pulled off, drones that could be mining. And I do remember the last time we looked at the natural, one of the drones wasn't mining, and it still isn't. So this is actually really scary here for Sziky. We did make a lot of lings. I think Zyky's lings actually might outnumber those of JDConan, so he's going to be forced to pull back now, especially with the Sunken just now finishing.
Yeah, Sziky is going to have to back off here. Still too many lings here for JDConan, but Sziky does hold on, and yeah, that's why he lost that ling, is because he was trying to micro on two fronts. I was like, man, it's really rare that Zyky's not watching, literally everything, right? And it looked like one of the lings even had a kill, so he may have even lost a drone. So Sziky going to be a little bit behind here, but JDConan made a lot of lings, so he doesn't have that drone advantage that you would typically expect, and we have this defensive Sunken, so Sziky's going to add a few more drones. His Spire is a fair amount later. Sorry, can we check again? What was the difference in timing? Okay, he actually, I don't think Aspire is going to be done in time.
Yeah, if JDConan's mutas get to Zyky's base before his finish, that could prove to be huge. We're doing another big fight here. That Sunken gets really low, but not quite enough lings to really power through this defense here. And now Sziky is chasing these lings into the middle of the map. And yeah, I fear that JDConan might not be ready for a counterattack.
Yeah, I feel like this was a bit of an overextension from JDConan, because now he's going to be focused on making more lings and defending, and this is actually going to buy Sziky the time that he needs to get his own mutas out before the lings from JDConan get there.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit too trigger happy here. Yeah, we see these mutas, they're not flying directly into the base of Sziky. They have to stay here and defend, but even with them here, Sziky actually manages to break through and he has a lot of lings running amok here. And these mutas are so confused, they're not even targeting anything in particular. These lings getting in here causing huge amounts of damage, but no drones are killed quite yet. Actually, I think one drone died. Yeah,
I think it was one there and then one in the natural, I think. So 2 drones total. You know what was really impressive to me was as soon as those 2 mutas showed up, the decisiveness from Sziky, the instant split off that those lings did once he started to win the fight to start creating chaos was like, it was really, really cool to watch. Just, this is a man that is in practice for sure right now.
Yeah, that's, we're really seeing a decisive player and a little bit of indecision coming from JDConan, and it's really showing like what the actual difference is, right? Like, these mutas, even though they were so much earlier than those of Zyky's, basically didn't do anything. It's a little bit of time wasted, and unfortunately, Sziky is starting to slowly get ahead, despite his disadvantage in the early game.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit careful when you're committing with your lings, right? Because there's often that seesaw effect in ZVZ, right, where you have the ling advantage, so you pressure the other Zerg, and then they make a bunch of extra lings, and then they get the ling advantage, and then they attack you, and we kind of saw that seesaw, whereas JDConan just kind of sat with his ling advantage. I think he could have actually got a little bit more out of his mutas.
Oh, we're actually going to swipe in here and get 2 drone kills. This is very well done by
Oh my
JDConan
God.
here. But unfortunately, a lot of the Scourge managed to connect onto his mutas, and he's forced to retreat. A couple Scourge of his own are coming up here, going to chase some of these mutas, but good micro from Sziky, from both players, actually. Oh my God, the Scourge, the anti-Scourge micro is very well done.
Oh no, we had a couple Lings sneak in here and actually get a few kills. They had 3 kills between the two of them. I think they killed all 3 gas drones while this was happening. So this is the constant multitask and pressure that Sziky is always putting onto his opponent. There's never just one thing happening when you're playing against Sziky, and it seems so hard to keep up with.
Yeah, that might be enough to actually turn the game here. We're so low on workers for JDConan.
Wow. Yeah, and Sziky might just spam out a ton of Scourge right now, right? He doesn't have a lot of mid-on come himself, but he does have 6 on gas, right? So, you know, JDConan is going to have to remake some drones to fix that, and while he's doing that, Zyky's just going to keep banking more and more army. We see the supply lead now for Sziky, up 7 supply. These constant counterattacks from Sziky have got to be so annoying to deal with.
For sure. And it's really hard because the micro in ZVZ is so precise sometimes, right? Like, you have to constantly be paying attention. So if you split off like 2 to you know, harass back in your opponent's base, right? Like, they can't pay attention to both places at once, even if you're someone as good as Sziky. We even saw earlier, right? Like, he lost a Ling, which is actually like pretty big at that stage of the game, and not something he would normally do, but because his attention was split, like, it's a real hard thing to grapple.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And here comes Sziky with his big air force here. Looks like a lot of the Scourge from JDConan also a little bit separated. Bunch of connections for both players, but it looks like Sziky has a pretty big muta advantage now. I mean, his guess is only like 1 or 2, but that's still a lot. We still got the additional Scourge as well. More mutas coming in, and he's just going to start chasing these mutas down.
This micro is insane, though, from JDConan. He basically didn't take any damage from Scourge, but unfortunately, Sziky just has so many Scourge, and his muta ball is still bigger.
Yeah.
I don't think any amount of micro can save. And he built drones! Yeah. I don't think any amount of micro can save him from this game state.
Yeah. GG. Gonna be called. Sziky gonna go up 2-0, and that's kind of thing about ZVZ. A lot of times it's not really a micro thing. After a certain point, it becomes a math problem, right? It's not about your skill anymore. It's not about your micro or your decision making anymore. It's just simply that they have more than you, and sucks to suck.
It's the way it is sometimes, especially with ZVZ.
Very unforgiving.
Yeah. Can kind of understand why Sziky himself doesn't really like this matchup, even though it's like it's like a really good matchup for him.
He's so good at it, though. It's crazy.
Yeah, he is amazing. Although, okay, I was thinking about this a little bit, right? Because we were going over the stats, right, for BSL, where we looked at his win rate for his different matchups, right? And I kind of wonder, now that I'm thinking about it, is his ZVZ win rate only that high because he is just the best Zerg player? Or is it like, because maybe the reason why his ZVP win rate is lower is because he has to play DeWalt and Bonnet in
absolutely.
tournament.
That is absolutely part of it. That's kind of what I was hinting at yesterday when I brought it up, was his win rate ZVP. I was like, it's a little bit lower, like a lot lower, but I don't think it's because he's bad at ZVP. It's because of the monsters that he runs into in BSL, right? Like, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. He probably overall, you know, he even says that he feels way more comfortable ZVP, and you know, most Zergs do, right? But yeah, I think it just looks a little misleading because of the types of players that he's playing against. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm getting pretty worried for JDConan, though. Like, we started off game number 1 with basically mirror build. and we
Mhm.
couldn't really win from there. Game number 2, JDConan actually found himself in a pretty advantageous position, and unfortunately, I think with a couple bad decisions, we couldn't really take a win from there either.
Yeah,
And
Sziky, he's mastered the art of forcing mistakes, right? He forces errors constantly from his opponents with the nonstop pressure, the counterattacks, the multitasking, the splitting his army, stuff like that, right? JD Conan just seems to not be able to keep up with Sziky's speed and efficiency right now.
yeah, and his multitasking is
All right, guys, we're gonna have a quick look at the bracket here for the IPSL. Uh, as you can see, got a lot of the results up here. We got Bonnet, DeWalt, JD Conan, Dragon, Sziky, Tarson, Zero, Kamizerg. This is where we got into the round of 8. A lot of really, really good players there. Yeah. And so here, looking at the round of 8, our results so far, we had DeWalt taking out Zero, Bonnet taking out Kamezerg. I believe that was, oh no, that was last week. And then yesterday we had Tarson and Dragon. A lot of Protoss, pretty Protoss dominant so far, going
yeah.
into the semifinals here.
We do have a lot of very strong Protoss players in the foreign scene.
Yeah.
A lot of these results aren't entirely unexpected, right? DeWalt, Bonneth being complete, monsters, as you said, right?
Mhm.
Tarson versus Dragon, I'm a little bit surprised at the 3-0. And I do remember I watched a good amount of that series yesterday, and it kind of felt like Tarson wasn't really playing his A game. Um, I know he can definitely uh, he can definitely take games off of Dragon, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he played Bonnet recently, and I think it was BSL they played. I don't remember exactly, but he actually gave Bonnet like really, really good games, and absolutely could have won a couple of them as well.
Hmm.
Um, so like he can be super good. He's just a little bit inconsistent sometimes. A lot of those Terran players are okay.
Hmm.
um, but honestly, the thing that's kind of hyped to me about this one is we have Bonnet versus DeWalt, and Bonnet historically has a winning record over DeWalt. So there's a chance that DeWalt is just going into the third and fourth place match. Uh, and we're gonna have potentially a Sziky Bonnet finals. And Sziky, he doesn't do that well against DeWalt overall, but he actually has a winning record over Bonnet. So I guarantee you he's hoping Bonnet takes DeWalt out for him, because I think that's kind of the clearest path to championship for Sziky right now.
I can see that for sure. Although I don't know, don't count out JDConan or Dragon quite yet. They're both pretty strong players on their own, but they are considered not as favored, like the matchup. So it wouldn't be entirely like it's not impossible for them to go to make it into the
Yeah.
finals either.
It's definitely not, and my bias definitely getting ahead of me a bit there. Dragon actually, I'm pretty sure is very strong PVZ as well. And I recently saw that Sziky did lose several games to Oya. So
Mhm.
if Dragon's feeling really good and really in shape, then he absolutely, it's definitely not impossible that he takes out Sziky, and that would be a pretty big upset. Actually, imagine we get like a Dragon Bonnet finals. Like I would have never expected that.
Yeah, that would be quite amazing. But I'm hoping. I like the underdog, stories, right? The stories based off like momentum, right? You never expect this player to do well, but then this one particular tournament they pop off.
Hmm.
I think a lot of these players, they definitely have the capability to make it to the finals, but a
Yeah.
lot of it is sort of dependent on how well they play on a particular day. All right. Now we're looking at the donations page. Of course, IPSL would not be possible without the support of everybody here, all of you guys who are watching, and all of the people who have been donating. By the way, guys, if you donate $10 a month, that gives you access to all of the replays. So if there's like any games you missed or you'd like to study further in depth, go ahead and use the link that I think we put in the chat, or maybe not yet, uh, to donate and support us every month. $10 a month gets you the replay packs.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to be a dominant Zerg Berserk player like Sziky, might actually want to
Absolutely.
pick that up because he is definitely something to be studied. It's fascinating what I've seen recently with the ZVZ.
We also have some new IPSL swag. Aaron, personally, I know is a big fan of the zip up hoodies, and so am I. If I recall correctly, if you order now or in the next couple of days, I think the delivery of the hoodies should arrive by Christmas. Is that true? Okay, okay. It sort of depends on what you order. It sort of depends on what you order, but at least some of them you should be able to arrive before Christmas, which would be pretty nice. You can show that off to your family, show it to your uncle who hasn't played StarCraft since 2003. It'll be a nice conversation starter. He'll be like, "Oh, what's that?" And you'll be like, "Oh, it's a IPSL, it's StarCraft tournament." And he's like, "Oh, they're still running StarCraft tournaments. Do you still get Pylon at 7, right?" Like, oh, okay. So the IPSL logo is also stitched. So that's some high quality stuff we got here.
Yeah.
We're not cutting corners.
No, I actually like unironically, the stuff looks really good to me. I've been talking about maybe picking up a couple of these things, especially with winter coming up. I think the beanie looks really cool, and the jackets, the zip up, the hoodies. Yeah, these look really good.
I
So
do
I'm thinking of
love the
maybe picking up a
IPSL
couple of
logo.
these. It actually, yeah, I think the IPSL
It's
logo
nice
fits
and
pretty well.
clean.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well designed, stitched on,
And I'm a
perfect to
sucker.
subtly show off your love of StarCraft without being a little bit too tacky, you know?
Yeah, and as a balding man, I'm a bit of a sucker for beanies myself. And also, guys, when you order from the shop, there's two different ways you can get discounts. 10% discounts. You can do Platinum 10 as your code to get a 10% discount. Also, if you are a sub on Twitch to Platinum Esports, that is another potential 10% discount. We don't know for sure if they stack or not, but you're more than encouraged to test that out for us and let us know.
All right. To us now. So we're going to head into game number 3 pretty soon. Unfortunately, it is very possible that we might end the day with a 3-0, but I'm hoping JDConan can really lock in this last game. Maybe show us something a little bit unorthodox, something a little bit more aggressive. I don't know. I guess maybe not too aggressive because that last game overextended a little bit too far.
Yeah. I fully suspect a 12 pull out of Sziky this game. So if you wanted to take a risk, it's hard because 12 pool is really safe, and we already went 12 hatch against 12 pool. And 12 hatch is probably the best thing you could do against 12 pool. So yeah, that's why I think Sziky is gonna go 12 pool here. But looks like our players are ready. We're gonna hop into game 3. It's gonna be on knockout, Sziky versus JDConan.
Spawning on the top left-hand side of knockout, it is Starcast Sziky.
And spawning here in the top right corner, currently down 0-2. Gonna have to look for that reverse sweep against the ZVZ God. We have JDConan.
This is the ZVZ God. What a title for Sziky. This is almost like one of those moments where, like, you know how they say like the best kings or the best presidents, the best, whatevers are people who don't want it, but like the people like force them just because of how good they are, right?
Yeah.
Sziky is our ZVZ hero who refuses the title.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. We talked about it a little bit yesterday about how a lot of players, they like complain about their best matchup. I see it so often. Like, especially Protosses, I hear them complain about PvT a lot, and I swear every time I look at their seawall, they're like 76% win rate PvT. And Sziky kind of doing the same, right? He's talking about how he just really, really hates the
what happened there?
but
Did you see that?
Well, yeah, so he was going for an 11 pool, and then he queued up his drones and didn't quite have the best mining for it. Like, not quite optimal, right? So I just interrupted it a little bit, but it's going to be 12 pool versus 11 pool. Essentially the same. Zeke is going to be at like a quarter of a drone or something, so it's, yeah, kind of minimal.
So yeah, it's one of those differences where it's really quite negligible in 90% of cases, right? Like, it's a quarter of a drone. Yeah. Like, I don't know. At some point, the skill differential and the decision making that you make in the game just has such a bigger impact that these sort of minuscule, they might as well be playing mirror build at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's essentially a mirror build, which historically hasn't boded well for JDConan. I'm a little bit worried for him going into this game. But
we might have manifested a little bit too close to the sun here. Like, what is it about, like, you talking about how we never see mirror builds, and then all of a sudden in this series we see 2 out of 3 be basically mirror builds?
Right. That's actually a really good point. My strategy worked, right? I guess I can just take full credit for this at this point.
Yeah, this is you. This is because of you.
Yeah, I guess neither player scouted. Yeah, they both scouted the wrong direction, so...
Yeah, we're going to see each other first in the middle of the map here. JDConan really needs to be careful because his lings aren't all together. Meanwhile, Sziky's are. His is kind of spread out all over the place. But Sziky is forced to kind of retreat in order to prevent, like, these lings from getting in. Oh my gosh. Okay. One really low ling does get into the natural, but Sziky doing a good job blocking the ramp, prevent him from getting a full scout. And now JDConan has to be really careful because his army is split up, and even though it is like one hurt ling, you still don't want to lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. The ling versus ling, that's the thing about ZVZ, man. The same way being down one muta just absolutely destroys a fight, right? It happens the same way with the lings, man. If you lose one ling for free, then yeah, you're down one ling in a fight, and it just the other Zerg will win with like 3 or 4 left over. It's crazy how big of a difference it makes.
Oh, it looks like Sziky is gonna start ramping up the pressure. We see a big round of lings come out for him, but does he not know where JDConan's base is? He's actually going towards the bottom right-hand side. That's like, that's not where his base is. I guess we never scouted him or figured out where he came from. Maybe the angle of the lings tricked him a little bit, but now we're going to start converging upwards. But JDConan actually split off a small group of lings to maybe go for a counterattack. This is a very, very ballsy move by him, but it looks like it's going to pay off.
Yeah, this is a little bit of that creativity we were kind of talking about that we want to see from JDConan. So he understands at this point that he can't win like a head-to-head battle with Sziky, so he made this sunken and then kind of set up for a counterattack. There are a ton of lings coming across the map from Sziky, though. We are going to get this 4-ling counter. I think this is a really cool play from JDConan. But can he hold on the other side while he does this counterattack? I love the Evo Chamber to mess up the surface area.
Oh, we just killed the 2 lings that were popping out for Sziky, and now these lings are wrecking havoc. We're going to kill 3 drones. That's huge. But at the same time, Sziky is attacking into JDConan's natural.
Wow.
And it looks like JDConan manages to defend that as well. I think JDConan is miles ahead now.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge win for JDConan. He's going to win the ling fight. He's going to have killed 3 drones, and we saw it there in the mining there from Sziky. He's having to make drones right now. He is incredibly far behind. This was a really creative, really smart play from JDConan. I love this. It was a risk that required Sziky to attack into him, and Sziky has been aggressive this entire series. So this was a really, really great read from JDConan.
Absolutely well done. For the first time, we see JDConan in a really convincing lead this series. He's up like 3 or 4 supply. No doubt a lot of that is going to be in drones because Sziky has been producing lings pretty much non-stop for a while now. We see, how much is this, 10 drones compared to Sziky's? Okay, it looks like it's also around 10. Is it?
Yeah, he's kind of called back up on the drones, right? But we see there's a pretty big supply deficit because, you know, he's trying to make those drones to catch back up while JDConan was mining properly the entire time. So he's just going to have a pretty significant air advantage. We also went really heavily into the Scourge because Sziky understands that he's really far behind, so he has to get more efficient trades. There's so many Scourge flying in here from Sziky.
This is interesting to see. I've never seen like a Scourge ball this big before even a single Muta has finished. We're gonna start parking some Scourge on top of these eggs, hoping to get like a cheeky spawn kill here. But at the same time, JDConan actually going for the counter attack. These three Mutas actually winning him the game. Well done to JDConan. We have ourselves a series.
There you go. There you go. I like it from JDConan. I think that was really creative, really smart. That's exactly the kind of shenanigans we need to see from JDConan to make this series a little bit abnormal. Yeah, I like it. I like it was punishing Sziky's tendency for aggression in this matchup. I think it was really, really smart.
Yeah, and the Evo chamber as well. Just like usually like it's good for like two reasons, right? Like it creates a choke point if you don't attack it, but if you do attack it, it's wasted damage. Like never underestimate the power of that one Evo chamber that's just in the middle of construction. All right, looks like we are going to go for a short 5-minute ad break. Don't go anywhere. Game number 4 is up next. Welcome back, everyone. We are getting ready for game number 4 of this awesome series. The score is 2-1 in favor of Sziky. But in that last game, JDConan really managed to show us that he is not to be trifled with. His ZVZ is definitely up to par, and he certainly has the ability to beat, Sziky without even really any tricks, right? Like he just played that really well, really intense.
Yeah, a little bit of a creative approach for sure. And we'll see what else he can come up with in this series. There's also the chance, that Sziky might be put off just a little bit, dropping a game like that. He might have been expecting himself to come out with a clean 3-0. And some people, they do get a little bit flustered after losing a game, especially when they're losing to someone that they feel like they shouldn't be losing to, right? And JDConan, even though Sziky, does come off as a superior player, JDConan's not a slouch. He's not easy to take out by any means. So yeah, we'll see how Sziky, goes forward here, and we'll see if JDConan has any other interesting ideas or creative ideas, or if he wants to maybe try to play a straight up game. I personally wouldn't advise that, but maybe a game like that does give him a bit more confidence to try and outplay Sziky.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I also noticed that, and I'm noticing a little bit of a pattern emerge from these last couple of games. So I feel like I've seen both players try to go for like some kind of mass ling all in into some kind of like one sunken natural base defense, and it just hasn't been working out for either player.
Yeah.
But okay, it looks like the players are ready to go. So let's head into game number 4. All right. We are now on Eclipse, spawning on the top right-hand side. It is Sziky.
And his opponent here in the bottom left, we have JDConan. Kind of the beginning of a potential reverse sweep here. We'll see if he can finish it off. He does still have a lot of work to do against someone like Sziky, but, the first step is winning that first game. And you see it quite often with a lot of players where they'll go down a bunch of games, right? They're one game from losing, and then quite often it's like there's this kind of like mental swing that happens in these series where suddenly the player that's down just like locks in and plays really well, or the player that was up starts making mistakes they don't normally make or something. So it's a very hard game to play very consistently. That's the issue with StarCraft.
Yeah, for sure. And we already see a very, very, very minor advantage from JDConan. He is spawning on the bottom left, so his drones do in fact pop up on the left-hand side if you do the larva trick. Whereas for Sziky, they pop on the wrong side of the hatchery. I actually have no idea how much of a difference that makes, but it definitely makes a mental difference, I think. Just knowing that you're going to be economically maybe like a tiny, tiny bit ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious how it does actually add up, because right side mining typically is a little bit faster, but yeah, that's true that the larva actually being on the left side can kind of even that back out a bit. So I wonder how much it actually evens everything out.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder which is the bigger difference. Definitely over time, I think the right side being faster to mine is better.
Right side. This looks like a JDConan win, man. We went 12 hatch against 9 full speed. This is unbelievably hard to hold it as Sziky.
Huh. Well, I guess we're not seeing any mirror matchup this game.
Yeah, this is as close to a build order loss that the matchup gets, I do believe. We might actually be going to game 5 here, guys.
Going
this is
for
tough.
a 12 hatch on Eclipse feels extremely ballsy.
Extremely ballsy. I was thinking about it before the game loaded up. I was like, you never go 12 hatch here, right? Like, but then I was thinking when Sziky started going towards 12 hatch, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe you go 12 hatch because you're like, my opponent knows that a 12 hatch here is psychotic. So of course he wouldn't expect me to do it.
Yeah,
and Zyky's Overlord actually... Oh, no, sorry. He did see the link, so we're going to see how he tries to handle this. I'm actually really curious to see how someone of this caliber tries to stop this.
Okay, so the drones do, in fact, get drilled. Oh, now this is a very interesting attempt to try and deflect this, but I don't think it's actually going to work.
Yeah, this game's over.
Oh, that is a lot of drones going down. Well, there you go. 12 hatch versus 9 pool. 12 hatch basically never win.
Even
if you're as good as Sziky, man. Okay, so the lings pop out. And
yeah, but Sziky has
quite a
like 2 drones. Yeah, 4 drones left. 5. Yeah, okay.
This is like he 4-pooled or something. Like this is no good. And JDConan is at a massive tech advantage because his Spire is already been started before Sziky even has money for layer.
Yeah, Zeke's just gonna make a bunch of slow lings and run across the map, right? He's not even gonna get speed for his lings. He's just gonna try to do this because he understands that there's no way to play it out from here. But with the speed advantage, and you know JDConan seeing this coming, it's hard to imagine Zeke's gonna be able to get through here and get anything done. So JDConan gonna pretty much clean this up. Oh no, he did get speed for Sziky. Sorry. Well,
yeah, I think he's definitely all in on the lings, right? Like, there's no way you could try to transition out of this. Yeah, it's nothing but lings being built from his side. But unfortunately, his economy is just like so... his economy has just been damaged so much that the larva difference can't even really come into play.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't even mind seeing, because JDConan sees that Zeke's just making lings, you know, pulling everything off of gas, because you only need one or 2 meters to win the game and make a sunken. Yeah, so there's a sunken coming down for JDConan. I think that's smart. The win condition for JDConan is get 1 meter across the map, essentially. You see a little bit of trading up the ramp from Sziky, trying to, you know, optimally fight it into the lings as best he can into this concave. But the sunken has started behind this, so the lings are going to fight here just a little bit to buy time. And they'll back up as the sunken's getting close to done. Join the sunken, and we're going to see that GG from Sziky any moment now. Surely the muta comes out. Is Sziky actually drawing? Wait, he's actually trying to play from here. Dude, okay. Sziky doesn't want to quit, man.
Well, I mean... if you think you have a chance, then you think you have a chance, right? And Sziky is certainly really good at... he is really good at ZVZ. He might just have the confidence that, you know what, I might be able to crawl back into this if I just played, like, amazing, and my opponent like F's up like maybe once or twice.
Yeah, I mean Sziky has worked some miracles before, but this what's beyond a miracle? Because that's what we're gonna need from Sziky to be able to win this game.
Several miracles in a row. That's yeah, like we're just so far behind in terms of tech, right? So our first spore crawler or spore colony does come up. Second one is on the way. That one's going to defend the spawning pool from being killed. So far, no drones have been lost, so that's actually been pretty good for Sziky. But regardless, like, look at how many mutas JDConan is banking up. At some point, we're going to be able to snipe drones in one shot, and when that happens, I don't think there's anything Sziky can do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really any comeback potential for Sziky, at least not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I respect that he's going to try to fight it out because you really don't want to go to in Game 5 if you don't have to, right? Especially in something like ZVZ, which can be so volatile, as we're seeing here. And even though Sziky, this is kind of what I meant about like how the mental game really starts to come into play, because it's like, you had a loss where it's like, okay, JDConan had a nice play, fine, I'll give him that one, right? And then he had a build order auto win, essentially, in this game. And now you're going into Game 5 and it's like, what, you know, how much is Sziky going to be in his own head where it's like, man, if I just screw up one more time, like, that's it. It's all over, you know?
JDConan, at this point, is doing exactly what he needs to do to win, right? Like, the pressure with the lings, right? How do you stop this? You simply do not have the economy to defend the air and the ground at the same time and try to come back. So, Sziky calls it, and we are on game number 5, which means I owe Aaron 5 tickets.
It's good. Yeah, I think we can just keep going.
No break.
Yo, Rice Hat 88. Thanks for the 5 gifted subs.
I did say I would do it if we reached Game 5. I did say I'd do it.
I guess that's true. But everybody knows by now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been over for a while.
Well, that's crazy. I guess I'm so engrossed in this series. When that game ended, I was trying to hit E on my keyboard uh to end the game screen, right? When Sziky left. I do this all the time where when I'm observing or like watching through a stream, I start trying to like click things to check things while I'm watching, not
Mhm.
realizing that I'm not in the game right now. You ever do that, or is that just me? Maybe it's just me.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was
It's fine.
processing the payment.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. All right. Well, I can't believe it, but we were going to a game 5 in the ZVZ. It's really kind of the most you could hope for. Yeah, I was worried we are going to be locked in for a 30-minute cast, but we are actually going to make it over an hour for a best of 5 ZVZ. This has got to be some sort of record, by the way.
Yeah, best of 5 ZVZ going on for over an hour. It's never been done before.
Never.
Buy your lottery tickets, guys, today. Today's a special day. Man, imagine Sziky losing here. Like, ZVZ must really be his worst match, like his least favorite matchup from this game on, or from this series on. That'll be for sure.
I'll say this: if he loses this series, I will stop giving him a hard time for complaining about ZVZ.
Yeah, it's like totally valid now. Like we're never gonna give him crap for that anymore.
Yeah. Well, JDConan is feeling really good about himself right now, and this is where you really start to kind of test people's mental strength, right? Because momentum and morale has got to be. It has fluctuated quite a bit in this series, and you can't help but feel it's got to be in JDConan's favor right now.
Yeah, I think reverse sweeps are like the most exciting things to see as a viewer, but as a player on the receiving end of the reverse sweep is like the most demoralizing thing you could ever experience. It's like, oh my god, I was like 3 games ahead. Like, how did this happen? I was about to win. It was this close.
All right, looks like our players are ready. We're gonna hop into game 5 here. It's gonna be on Fighting Spirit, an absolute classic.
All right, spawning on the top left-hand side, we have our reverse sweep potentially in progress. Our Zerg hero, it is JDConan.
And his opponent here, spawning in the bottom left, currently on a 2-game losing streak. Can he recover his mental? Can he gather himself and get a clean game to finish this series off? We have Sziky.
Oh man, Sziky must really be feeling the pressure. He must really be feeling it. We are 2-2. And I'll tell you what, Sziky is definitely not going to be going any kind of build that insta loses to a different build.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. I would imagine not. I think we're probably going to see a 12 pull out of Sziky. He just wants to get into a later, more stable game state, right? And I'm curious if JDConan knows that Sziky is going to think that and go straight for a 12 hatch. That is 100% what I would expect from Sziky if I were in JDConan's shoes right now.
Well, we're getting very deep into the mind games, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about it logically, right? If Sziky thinks he's the better player, he's going to want to play it safe and not do anything too risky. And you can take advantage of that mindset by doing something like, well, as we were saying that he gets a earlier pool. Yeah, like if you think your opponent is going to try and play safe, you just play as greedy as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you are going to get away with it.
Yeah. And we do see here it's going to be that 12 pull from Zeke, and it's actually an over pull from JDConan, which is pretty interesting. I wouldn't have expected an over pull. That was probably one of the last things I would have predicted.
Yeah, because if we're predicting Sziky does something really safe like a 12 pull, going for the the build that gets soft countered by 12 pool is also not what I would have expected. But it is possible that JDConan is also thinking. It's also possible that JDConan is feeling a little bit extra confident after the last 2 victories, and he's like, you know what? If I play safe, right, like I can actually beat Sziky as well. Sziky actually going for the hatchery at the natural, so
yeah, that's standard for 12 pool. I actually would like for a high level Zerg to explain to me why you would overpull in this matchup, because I actually don't know. I don't know what you're hoping to run into or what the goal is with an overpull as opposed to like a 9 pool or a 12 pool or even 11 pool.
Apparently Striker only plays overpool. so we got to ask him, I guess. Overpool just feels like a very overall safe build. And I know you mentioned that 12 pool is also like a safe build that seems to work a little bit better than overpool. But what I'm imagining, and I could be totally wrong about this, is that maybe overpool is a more flexible build than 12.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to think about it, but honestly, with my very limited ZVZ knowledge, I can't come up with an answer that is satisfactory for me personally. Yeah, not sure. I mean, I guess if you're against like a 9 pull, it's like really safe, it's low pressure, and you'll just be up a couple drones, right? So maybe it's just specifically looking to go up against 9 pull just with a slight advantage.
We do see JDConan get like a much faster Spire. And I do know that if you go for overpool, you can get your Spire like pretty fast. So it could be he just wants to get to the Muta stage as quickly as possible. Quickly and safely.
All right, JDConan doing his Ling Tuck again, right? This is something you got to be worried about as
Ling Tuck.
Sziky, yeah.
That's a good name for it. I like it. Like if Sziky chooses to move out, right, and he has been doing that quite often, like he's just looking to punish Sziky's aggression. But look here, we're actually gonna move out with our Lings, and behind us potentially take our natural as well.
Yeah.
So JDConan a little bit behind, I think, in terms of bases, but we do get our mutas much faster than Sziky. So there is a window of time, a window of opportunity here for us to do quite a bit of damage. Sziky actually gonna pull the trigger once again, and we see the Lings tucked. The tucked Lings from before are going to try and do a bit of counter damage, but 6 Lings actually just now pop out. But Sziky doesn't notice! He doesn't notice! No, there are 4 Lings.
Yeah, he had the extra Lings. Okay. Yeah.
I was like, whoa! Wouldn't have expected that. But here we go.
One zone went down. Oh, we get up the ramp. This was a big mistake from JDConan. Yeah, he let a little bit of a gap there, so the Mita's gonna have to stay home to defend. I don't believe we have a Sunken in the home either. I can't imagine that we do. Yeah, we don't. So these drones are gonna be under fire. Gonna have to try and drill and buy some time, but a couple go down pretty quickly. We have Link running on both sides. These Mitas gonna be stuck at home while we're taking damage, and Sziky should be setting up at home to prepare for these Mitas. One of the Links bugged out, unfortunately, for Sziky. We actually still have 6 drones left over for JDConan. It feels like it could have been so much worse, but yeah, this allows the Mutas to come out, or the Scourge to come out for Sziky.
This is some crazy aggression here from Sziky, and we are continuing to put the gas to the floor here with all of these Scourge that are coming out. JDConan's micro has to be perfect here. A bit of Scourge coming out for himself, and these Lings are actually going to do a ton of damage here because there's nothing to defend here for JDConan. He has to spend all of his larva on the air war.
This is so chaotic. Oh my god, a bunch of the Scourge connect. Oh no, a bunch of the Scourge connect, and only 1 Muta's left over. Sziky getting his own Mutas on the other side of the field. These 2 Lings did a lot of damage, and this might actually be too much for JDConan. One of the Scourge do connect on the hatching Muta. I mean, this game is crazy, by the way. Like, we can't actually cope or deal with this. Oh my god. Is JDConan gonna win? We're at 6 supply, but these 2 Mutas are dead in the water.
They have to run away. There's nothing that they can do. If they try to fight the other Muta, they both literally die. But what happened back here? Where are all the drones?
I didn't realize that many died. We have 2 drones mining, and they're both on gas.
So basically, JDConan has to 100% win this air fight, which
Wow.
he's unable to do so. Unfortunate
That
ending
got
for our
crazy.
potential reverse sweep candidate.
Wow. That was,
That was just over in an instant. Like,
that was wild.
it was like not a whole lot was going on, and then suddenly like 30 different things happened at the same time, and Sziky somehow in the chaos managed to kill JDConan's entire mineral line.
Dude, what an absolute like insane final game. That was so chaotic. I can't even imagine how hard it would be to manage everything that's happening. It's like you got Scourge fighting mutas, so you're trying to micro your mutas. You got Lings on your drones in both bases. Like there's so much going on. That was hectic. I love that. I usually hate ZVZ. That was a fun game.
Yeah, that was a good series. That was a good series, and yeah, Sziky really kind of showing us that he thrives in the chaos, right? Like we the two of us, we saw this yesterday in BSL, right? And we're seeing it again in IPSL where he's really like creating these really chaotic situations, attacking two places at once, defending two places at once, and doing a really good job at that.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised ZVZ is his least favorite matchup because like he really seems to know exactly how to play it.
Yeah. I didn't realize how many those two Lings killed everything. Like if
Oh
those
yeah.
drones aren't dead, then I think JDConan wins that game.
Hmm.
But it was like a slight mismanagement with like everything going on, right? It was just too much for him to handle. Man. And nerves were like super high too, right? Like for both of them, like that's gotta be like hearts are pounding. Like, yeah,
For
that's
sure,
crazy.
for sure. Like one slip up, right? And you know what? Like I bet JDConan just like he might not have realized the two Lings were going ham, and it's like he just needed to not pay attention to his own mineral line for 3 or 4 seconds for all of his drones to die. And he didn't
Mhm.
have that many to begin with, too, right? Like he only had like 5, 6 drones. 4 drones dying, that can happen in like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a very, very unforgiving matchup.
Everything's just on knife's edge.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Very satisfied with that series.
Yeah, that will conclude our series for today. Congratulations to Sziky for making it out. It ended up being a lot closer in the end, right? Like we started off
Mhm.
like, oh, Ziki's gonna win very, very convincingly, but JDConan really putting up a fight in the end. Unfortunately, not quite enough to take the series. So, congrats to Sziky for winning 3-2, and good try to JDConan.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely made a series out of it. I'm JDConan should be happy with himself, right? Like obviously he's gonna be pretty disappointed with those first two games, but he really made a series out of it. And I think he should be proud of that. Definitely could have won these games, especially that last game. It was very winnable. So and he knows that.
Mm,
I'm sure he's frustrated, but at the same
yeah.
time, he shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's hard not to be when you're the player in that situation. You're like, oh, if I did it like a little bit differently, then like I could be in the next round by now. But
Yeah.
as the viewers, right, as the casters, we can see just how well JDConan has been playing, just how much he's improved over the past year, past couple years, right? Like just how good he really is, and he's really giving us a good show here. So
Yeah.
well done to JDConan as well.
Yeah. Great series. All right. I think that will wrap it up for us here today. Um, so that does mean that Zeke is going to move on to the semifinals and is going to play against Dragon. And yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to watch as well. So nothing but good games ahead of us. We got Bonnet DeWalt in the same bracket there, the same semifinals. So gonna get crazy.
Mhm. Just a quick little update on the schedule. So next, what was it? Next weekend is the last. Sorry, next Monday.
Saturday.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I keep mishearing. Next Saturday is going to be the last monthly of the year, and after that, of course, is going to be a bit of a Christmas break. So the next part of IPSL is going to be in January. I think
Yeah.
first weekend of January, January 4th. So tune in on January 4th to see the conclusion of this season's IPSL. We have some very exciting matchups for you guys: DeWalt versus Bonneth and Sziky versus Dragon in the semifinal.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Like I said, I'm usually not a ZVZ fan, but this one will make me a ZVZ fan. This was a great series. So
It was a
remember,
good
guys,
series, man.
if you want the replays for these games, go sub to the Patreon. All right. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good evening, and we'll catch you guys next time.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks for watching, everybody.